Guys, you're welcome back to another video from this Prefix Paint channel. This channel now, I want to dedicate it to paint production, anything about paint production. So today guys, I want to discuss about, I'll be doing the practical class in my next video, but let's talk about how we can produce POP emulsion paint for screening of our interior and exterior of the building. When producing POP emulsion paint, there are some major factors to consider when producing this paint. One is it that you are using it directly or you are producing it for storage. So these are two factors you need to put into consideration, because when you are using it directly, there are some chemicals that are not needed in the production. So to produce POP emulsion paint, if you are producing it for exterior or for interior, if you are using POP emulsion paint, is mostly used for interior and exterior screening. And when screening the interior, we use the POP powder. But when screening exterior of apartment, of a house, we use the black cement for screening our houses. But when you want to produce this POP emulsion paint, there are some chemicals you need your calcium carbonate, you need your carbon, you need your water, you need your nitrosol, you need your Vinamon, or you need acrylic PVA, then you need your preservative ammonia, you need your Genipol. These are chemicals you need to produce POP emulsion paint. So how do you produce this POP emulsion paint? POP emulsion paint is an essential commodity in the paint industry. It's one of the moving highest selling paints. If you are doing POP emulsion paint, there is no quality required in production of POP emulsion paint. It's just about the thickness. That's what most people used to look at, is about the thickness. How thick is the emulsion paint? Because the POP guy that are using it, what they need is something that will take them long doing application. So when you want to produce this paint, you need the calcium. So how do we produce it? Firstly, you need to get like a 10 kg of water in a clean bucket. Then after the water, the next chemical to be added is your carbon. Addition of carbon is just to reduce the temperature and to reduce the pH of the water. The next chemical to be added after adding your calcium, after adding your carbon, is your calcium. You add your calcium and dilute it properly until it blends fully. After adding your calcium, the next chemical to be added is your acrylic, which is the binder. It's a binder that will not allow the paint, the screening to dust on the wall after your finished product. It will bring it, it will make it, but it must not be too much. So the binder is very important in the paint, POP paint production. After adding the binder, you blend properly, you add your nitrosol, you add your addictive. These are chemicals. These are how you produce a POP emulsion paint. But this POP emulsion paint, as a producer, if you are using it on site, there is a way you can reduce cost. If you want to go for a project, there is a way you can reduce the cost of production of POP paint. Because if you are using POP paint on site, producing on site will make you to produce in batch. So when producing in batch, you have reduced the cost of buying plastic, because the cost of bucket to produce a paint is almost 2,000 naira. That's almost $4-5. So these are some of the ways you can reduce the cost of production when you have a project like POP screening. Try to always produce it in batch. Then if it is allowed, you can use it on site. This will reduce the cost of producing this POP paint.